going to wear a hole in the bottom of that cup. What's going on? Where's your girl?
Home in bed, I guess.
You don't know? I thought you were going to follow through with this.
I did.
Well?
She'll call me.
You're in no position to sit around with a broken heart, Joe.
Look, I phoned her. I've been to see her. Now I have to wait. Timing's important. If I don't handle it just right, it could be all over for good.
I don't think you understand.
I do understand.
What happened to Pavel here is very serious. It's no time for you to be sitting around being sorry for yourself. You won't get that girl to marry you hanging around here. You've got to start moving. You've got a good head, Joe. Use it.
Okay.
Hello.
Evening, Mrs. Ryan. I hope I'm not calling too late.
Oh, hello, Joe. Well, if you're asking if you're calling too late for me, the answer is no.
By any chance, is Siobhan still up?
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. No, she's not.
It's important.
Well, she went to bed very early. I'm sure she's asleep by now.
Oh.
Look, why don't you give her a ring early in the morning? 8 would be a good time.
Sure. Thanks. Good night.
Come on.
One question, Senator. Is it true you're considering resignation?
Fellows, we're trying to have a meeting in here.
What about Mrs. Bolak? Was it she that blew the whistle on you?
Do you want me to call security?
No, that's okay, Jenny. Bobby can handle it.
2 minutes, Senator.
Yeah, come on.
2 minutes.
Listen, guys, we're going to have a statement for you later. Hang loose till then, okay? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Oh.
How the hell did they find out I was coming back from Washington?
Hell, they know everything, Frank.
Jenny, I'm expecting a Mr. Jerry Grant. He's from the Senate Ethics Committee. Now, I'm leaving it up to you two to get him past those guys out there and into this office, okay?
Yes, Senator.
Now, once he is in here, no calls, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Make sure and protect yourself, okay? Okay, fellas, all right, now move away. Come on, fellas.
Boy, a bunch of animals out there. The smell of blood.
Yeah, your blood.
Well, why not? The party has washed its hands of me, and so it seems. I've already been tried and convicted in a dozen of the nation's newspapers, not to mention 2 of the country's biggest magazines. Can hardly blame them for being out there.
No, I suppose not.
Senator Ryan, Mr. Grant.
Please.
Hi. I'm Bob Reed. I'm the senator's assistant.
How do you do? Jerry Grant.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Frank Ryan.
Good to meet you.
Have a seat, please.
I'd like to thank you for seeing me so promptly, Senator, and say first that there are a great many people in Washington who've admired your efforts over this past year and who've considered you, until this recent unpleasantness, among the very most promising of the newly elected senators.
But the recent unpleasantness, as you put it, has changed all that?
Yes, I'm afraid it has. What I'm going to say now is off the record, right? And not to go beyond this room.
I agree.
As you know, there's a hearing scheduled in 2 weeks to take up your situation. Now, it is the earnest hope of everyone from our side of the aisle that an actual hearing can be avoided.
Well, you're the guys that schedule it. You're the only ones that can cut it off.
And the reason for our reluctance, Senator, is that once you actually walk into a hearing, you won't have a single friend in the room.
That's pretty stiff, isn't it, Mr. Grant?
Bottom line.
Well, now, wait a minute.
No. Let him finish, Bobby.
Thank you. You understand, Senator, I say this with considerable regret, but it is essential that you know how things exactly are so that you can make the best possible judgment.
Go on.
I've heard your statements that the evidence linking you with a sellout to NLW Industries is fabricated. Now, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and accept that statement.
Oh, thanks a lot.
However, the evidence is there, and it's convincing. And unless you can provide documentation proving that it is fabricated,
The committee is going to accept it on face value.
exactly.
Oh, no.
Mr. Reed, I'm giving it to you straight.
What you're telling me is it's going to be a kangaroo court. Now, nobody is going to want to listen to Frank's side of the story.
I'm explaining that the committee has seen the letter endorsing Mr. Leclerc for the Regulatory Commission, and the signature is Senator Ryan's, which he himself admits. I'm saying the committee has proof that efforts were made by NLW Industries on Senator Ryan's behalf in several states. I'm saying the committee has read the various internal NLW Industries memos describing a deal agreed upon between Senator Ryan and Samuel Addison Snow, and believes those documents to be authentic. Now, unless you and Senator Ryan can come up with something substantial to counter all that, I think it best you realize that the senator faces expulsion and a very strong possibility of a jail sentence.
In other words, no one, absolutely no one is going to stand by me.
Now as things are now.
Well, you said earlier, Mr. Grant, that it was the hope of a number of people that an actual hearing could be avoided?
Yes, it is. We don't think it would be good for the country. We know it wouldn't be good for the party. With the national elections less than a year away.
Do you have any suggestions?
I have a couple of alternatives, yes. One good and one bad.
Well, I think I'd prefer to hear the good alternative first.
Good alternative, bad alternative. This is a damn nightmare.
Who's there?
Shh. It's me, Joe.
What are you doing?
I had to see you.
Well, we do have such a thing as a front door.
Oh, I had to see you tonight. Did I wake you up?
Yeah. No. Be careful.
Well, hi. You look terrific.
Oh. Thank you. You cold?
A little. Maybe I better come in.
No, no, no. Maybe you'd better go home.
What? It took me 20 minutes to get up here. I'm not leaving, not now. Not till I've said what I've come to say.
You're crazy. What if you got my parents' window instead?
I did. I saw your father right away. I knew it wasn't you because, well, you know, you're...
I'm a girl.
Yes, you are a girl. I'd be in a lot of trouble if you weren't.
Joe, please go home.
You said you'd call me, and you didn't.
Wasn't a chance.
Well, it worried me. Are you all right?
So-so.
I'm lousy, too.
Yeah, I got family problems.
Yeah, I know. Can we have dinner tomorrow night?
No.
How are we going to work things out if we never see each other?
Maybe we weren't meant to work things out.
Oh, I don't believe that's true.
Look, there's a lot of heavy stuff happening with Frank around here now. Everybody's upset. I'm upset. And it's not the right time for me to get involved in a big emotional scene.
Well, sometimes we don't have a choice. Tonight, tomorrow's the only time we've got.
I don't want to rush things. Please, just let me have a little time alone.
I can't.
Joe.
I don't want to.
Well, you can't kidnap me again.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, we don't have a boat in 3 days.
Well, we could, just the two of us, no crew, the ocean, the sun, the moonlight. I could make you onion and potato pancakes or something.
Be serious.
I am.
I keep telling you that I need time to consider and choose a direction for my life. You keep wanting to push ahead. I don't understand why.
Maybe it's because I need you.
I know you love me, and you want to be with me.
Uh-huh.
I have a hard time believing that you need anyone.
Well, it's the truth. And you're also right about the part that I love you and want you.
Stop. That's not fair.
I'm not trying to be fair. I'm trying to break through to you.
But I don't want you to break through.
Well, I have to anyway.
Joe, you've got to respect my feelings. It's not that simple. I mean, you've no idea how upset everybody is about Frank.
That's called changing the subject. Okay, he's in a tough spot.
He didn't do it. Somebody set him up. And it's really hard to prove it when you haven't done something.
My uncle's known about that for years. Can I ask you how much of our problem is really about my Uncle Tizo?
I don't know. Some of it.
Okay, I understand that. I'm glad you told me the truth. Tizo's a big part of my life. I can't pretend that he isn't.
Well, my reservations aren't only about Tizo, Joe. They're about you, too.
Oh. Joanne, I'm not gonna let you go without a fight. You can't begin to understand what you mean to me.
Please, Joe.
I love you. And I know you love me.
Well, we're not going to get anything settled with you out there in the fire escape.
Well, come in.
No. Please, just go home. Look, I'll call you when I'm ready. Oh, great. Great. Now you've done it. Please, just go home. I'll call you, I promise.
When?
I don't know. Soon. Just go home, Joe. Go on.
Soon's too vague. You tell me when you're going to call me.
Tomorrow afternoon. Yeah?
Is everything all right in there?
Yeah, sure, Ma. Come on in.
Oh, dear. When I heard Finn barking outside your door like that, I thought maybe we had a burglar.
Oh, no, I don't imagine burglar would stay around long if you heard Finn. It was Joe.
Where? Not on the fire escape.
Afraid so.
Oh, Lord. You know, he called me earlier, and I said that you were asleep.
Yeah, I probably thought I was trying to ditch him. I told him I'd call him tomorrow.
He's a remarkably persistent young man.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't think I understand him at all.
Well, it seems to me that he's showing all the signs of being what we used to refer to as smitten.
I love him, and he loves me. Sometimes I just have so many doubts.
You do know.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, we were just so close and so loving, and I thought I was happier than I'd ever be. And then he broke it off. He didn't want to see me anymore. That hurt a lot.
I remember that.
I think it was the longest trip of my life when I went out to Sheepshead Bay on the subway to ask him for an explanation.
Well, that was a very brave thing that you did.
Yeah, all I got for my trouble was some vague stuff about 2 different worlds and goodbye. Then I had the whole ride home. I felt so discarded.
That's when you spent so much time in your room.
Yeah. All I did was sleep and cry. And then he comes back, with no explanation, wanting things to be just the way they'd been.
I can see why you'd be confused.
It takes a long time to get over being hurt like that.
What does Joe have to say about all this?
Oh, he says a lot. It doesn't really mean anything. Something about being scared and overcautious.
Oh, it's hard for me to think of Joe as being scared.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe his uncle has anything to do with any of this?
I don't know. He certainly has something to do with what's bothering me. I mean, I like the man personally, but I know that he's got to have some connections with organized crime. That scares me.
Yes, well, Jack says Tiso Novotny is a very frightening man.
He is.
Siobhan, if you're thinking of marriage, and it's something I've got to assume if you're doing all the soul searching, I would like to be able to say something about this Tiso.
Yeah.
Now, I've never laid eyes on the man, except for a few pictures that I've seen with the title Gangland Boss in the papers. But, you know, when you marry someone, you marry into a family. There's no one that marries that don't bring those relationships with them.
You're saying if I marry Joe, Tizo's a part of it?
For better or for worse.
That doesn't put my mind at ease.
Oh, I wish I could say something to you that would make you feel better, but...
I don't know what to do. Joe is so insistent. And I know that if things start up again, there's no way it's not going to be very serious.
Suppose you lay out the good alternative for me.
Clear yourself. Produce proof that you've been framed, and we'll not only go to bat for you 100%, but we'll cut the people who forged that evidence into little pieces.
And if I can't produce proof, if the FBI and the security people can't come up with anything else?
Then the bad alternative, which is not entirely bad.
Resign.
If you spare the country a hearing, if you spare the Senate, the party, there'll be a lot of people who'll be very grateful to you.
Oh, yeah, all his good friends in Washington.
In the words of Harry Truman, Mr. Reed, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Now, I've been authorized to tell you that if you spare everyone the problems which would accompany a public scandal, your friends will rally around you. There'll be no criminal charges, no question of a trial. Everyone will say you've suffered enough, and I think you'll find it a lot easier to pursue a post-U.S. Senate existence.
In other words, you're offering me a deal.
I don't like that word. It suggests something less than ethical.
Oh, really? But that's what it is, isn't it? I resign and everything else is forgiven and forgotten.
I suppose you could look at it that way.
I do look at it that way. The only problem is, Mr. Grant, is that I am not guilty. I never knowingly endorsed Raymond Leclerc. I never accepted money from NLW Industries, and I am damned if I am going to resign.
Right on.
Whether you are guilty or not isn't the point. The point is you look guilty as hell and can't prove otherwise.
It's true.
So you'd better get a pretty clear fix of your situation, Senator. Push the Ethics Committee to a public hearing, and you'll be the one who gets sliced into little pieces. And I don't think in today's highly moral climate you can look for a pardon on this one. Consider it carefully, Senator.
I'll get back to you, Mr. Grant.
Listen, don't be a martyr. That won't serve you or your family or anyone else you care about. Be sensible.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
The fact is, even if you were able to clear yourself completely by tomorrow, I don't think you could remain in the Senate beyond one term. Your credibility, your effectiveness would be ruined no matter what.
I thought of that.
Well, I hope you decide to take the rational way out.
told you, we'll let you know.
Well, I'm glad that's over. This hasn't been the most pleasant task I've been assigned. But as junior counsel, I'm the one they asked to do this sort of thing.
I know. Nothing personal.
I am really sorry about this. I'm one of the people who's admired you.
Yeah, well, we're kind of sorry about it ourselves, you know.
I like your loyalty, Mr. Reed. Now, shall we throw the wolves a bone?
Well, I can't let them go home empty-handed. Ask them to come in, Bobby.
Senator, we'll see you now, gentlemen.
Please don't crowd.
Have you got a statement for us, Senator Ryan?
Yes.
Senator, what is the Council of the Ethics Committee?
What was the meeting about? Why at this hour?
Mr. Grant and I have been discussing the procedures which the Senate Ethics Committee will follow. I am indeed grateful to him for filling me in.
Come on, Senator. Can't you give us a little more than that?
Is a private meeting with the Senator completely ethical, Mr. Grant?
It is standard procedure, sir. I'd like to say this. The senator and I have had a very candid and useful discussion of his situation. He is cooperating fully with us, as we are with him. And we are all working towards decisions which we trust will be in the best interest of the country, the United States Senate, and the senator himself.
A new original reality series on SoapNet. Mom and Dad are moving in for a financial intervention. It's a matter of life or debt. Bank of Mom and Dad. Moving in Wednesday, September 30th at 10. Only on SoapNet.